Hi everyone, welcome to Find Your Fire. I'm Sarah Perron and I'm a coach who helps people break free from what's holding them back in life so that they can be their most true, expansive, abundant, fully expressed selves in the world, filled with happiness and wholeness, and it's work that I love to do. And I'm so glad you are joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about guilt. And if you're at all familiar with guilt, you know there are plenty of things we can potentially be feel guilty about in life. But today we're going to be focusing in on feelings of guilt related to accomplishment and productivity, all the things that we get done and don't get done in life. So I'd like you just to kind of take a minute to check in with yourself about this here with a couple of questions and see if this is something that you struggle with as well. So how often do you look back at your day, maybe, in the evening, and say, man, I just didn't get enough done today. It just wasn't enough. Like I was doing things all day, but it still just wasn't enough. And does it sometimes happen to you that you decide to focus in on a specific task during your day, but the whole time that you're doing it, you're distracted by thoughts of other things you should be doing, and you feel guilty about this one thing you've chosen to do because you think you should be doing 5 other things instead? And how often do you try to do 5 or more things, or even just more than one at the same time, trying to multitask in an effort to be more effective, more efficient, more productive, and just kind of cram more into the moment? So if this is you, take heart. I know where you're coming from because this used to be me as well. And at some moments still is. I'm in the process of recovery from being an overdoer, let's say. So I really know what this is like. And it can be pretty heavy, this walking around with this feeling of never, this never enoughness. And how did we get to this point? I think it's something that's really prevalent, especially today. How did we get to this point of feeling like what we do with our days is never enough, and that we have to be kind of busy with something every moment in order to be to fill this, this idea of being productive, of accomplishing. So I'll tell you that for me, this came from the mistaken belief that my worth is tied in with what I do, with how much I accomplish, and that like I really always wanted to live my life to the fullest and make the most of my life and my time. And I felt that in order to do that, I always needed to be doing and doing and doing, getting stuff done, checking stuff off the list, staying on top of everything, making huge strides on projects every day. And that if I wasn't, it meant that I needed to kick it up a notch. I was being like a little too lazy. I was being ineffective. I wasn't working hard enough. And I was just so hard on myself about it. And it's not like I was like sitting around eating potato chips, watching hours of Netflix or whatever. Although, chips and Netflix do have their proper place in life, in moderation, I'm just saying. But like, I was doing good things with my time. I was taking care of my family, you know, my kids, taking care of the house. I was working, you know, working on my relationships, like all these things. I was filling my time with good things. Excuse me. But still there was this judgment and guilt, this self-judgment and guilt. And I think, you know, if you're someone who struggles with thoughts like this about yourself, tie in all these ideas with just the times we're living in today and the technology we have. And because we have all these tools, these like amazing tools at our disposal that do make life easier in many ways and make it easier and quicker to accomplish certain things, you know, we feel like we should be able to do double what we used to do. And so kind of put it all together, and it's this recipe for constant self-judgment and guilt. And it's a very damaging lens to view your life through. So let's just pause here for a moment to remember a couple of things. We are people. We're not machines that are meant to just go, go, go and do all the time. We're souls that need nurturing and care. We have an amazing capacity to do so much and so many big things, but we also need moments of just being and quiet and reflection and stillness. It can't be all movement all the time. And our time is a gift. It's a vessel that we can fill with good, beautiful, world-changing things, with love and relationships and work that fulfills us and all these good things. It's not meant to be a slave driver. But so many people, so many of us treat time this way, that we're trying to run and beat the clock, and that time is our enemy and it's always against us. We're never able to get ahead of it. And while, I mean, we do have, obviously, limited time here in this life, but it's meant to be, we're meant to live deeply with thought and care, and not feel like we have to speed through or cram in as much as we can every single day. Like, what's the point? When we get to the end of it all, what is the point of living that way? And yes, it is a good thing to give careful thought to how we use our time, to make plans, to set goals and priorities, you know, to plan out the day. But we can be in charge of the plan. We can be in charge of our plan. It doesn't have to be the other way around, that the plan is running us and that we're just trying desperately to keep up. So how do we release the guilt that we can feel around what we accomplish and don't accomplish each day with our time? I'm going to suggest 5 things. And there are many things we could say about this, but these are 5 things that really work for me. So I hope they'll be helpful to you as well. So first, be clear on what your priorities are for the day. If you can take just a few minutes in the morning to set some goals, like what you feel are the most important things for you to focus on that day, that's going to make a huge difference to the way your day goes. And resist the temptation to make a to-do list that has 50 items on it, because that is pretty much just a setup for disappointment, because it's hard to get 50 things done in a day. And so you want to be realistic. You want to write down things that you know you can realistically accomplish. And so number 2, whatever it is that you choose to work on, that you choose carefully, and then give it your full focus and attention while you're doing it. And because you've taken time to choose it carefully, you can have confidence that, you know, what you've set out for yourself to do that day is worthwhile. It is important. You've put thought into it. You're not being frivolous. So approach the task with confidence and focus. And if, while you're doing it, you have thoughts come into your mind of other things that you should be doing instead, or just how much there is to do, you can pause and just write it down on a paper next to you. Write down the thought, the task that came into your mind, and say, okay, now it's out and it's for later. I'll look at it later when I'm done with this thing. So really try to pull your focus and attention into everything that you do. And you'll find most of the time that this means that you will accomplish your tasks in a much more quality way, because you've really focused in. You're not like, you know, looking around 10 different places at the same time. You're really giving it your all, and that shows. So that's number 2. And number 3, be ready to give yourself grace, or to forgive yourself, or forgive whatever it is, the situation, the people involved, when things don't go the way that you had hoped with something that you wanted to do in your day. Just, it happens. We can make the best plan. We can know exactly what we want to do, but sometimes things go differently, and that's okay. And it just means we had a different idea in mind than what actually ended up happening. And we can work with what happened. We can be flexible, we can adjust, we can kind of reset our focus and roll with it. So just be ready for the unexpected, I guess. Number 4, do make time to nurture yourself in whatever way is best for you, whatever that means for you. You can even put it on your to-do list. You know, I love to go for walks. I've been very bad about taking my walks recently. I need to start doing it again, because it just fills me so much, and I feel the difference when I do it. And that's something I can give to myself that then fuels the rest of the day for me. It fills me with energy and inspiration, and it is important. It is a priority. And so, you know, even put those things on your to-do list. Whatever it is for you that will fill you and fuel you throughout the day, through the other things that you need to do. And number 5, make sure to celebrate what you do accomplish. I really encourage you to take a few minutes at the end of your day to look back over the day and look at all you've done, all the good, amazing things that you did or that you put in some time on. You know, maybe a project isn't complete, but you put time and effort into it, and really celebrate those things. You can even write them down if you want and see. It's so easy for us to just focus on what we didn't do and forget everything that we did. And, you know, it can be as concrete as a work task, or it can include other things like, you know, I spent time reading a book to my child. I spent quality time with him. You know, whatever accomplishment means to you, really celebrate those and focus in on those and feel good about yourself and everything you did today. And through this, through all of this, just remember to breathe. Just remember to breathe. You're doing great. And chances are the judgments and all these thoughts we've talked about and all the guilt, it's most likely all or mostly self-inflicted, like it's coming from inside of you. When I feel this way and I look around at my life, sometimes I can realize no one else is doing this to me. No one else is saying, Sarah, you should be getting more done today. Like, it's just me. And it's this lens that I've chosen to look at my life through. But we can all recognize that we have the opportunity to put that one down and pick up a different pair of glasses that helps us to view ourselves with more gentleness and kindness and understanding, and that it all starts in your mind. You can choose the thoughts you have about what happens in your life and about yourself, the way you view yourself. It's a total choice. So I wish for you more calm, more focus, more peace of mind, and just more joy in everything that you do, every task that you take on, every relationship that you put time into during your day. And that for you to be able to make this shift to a healthier way of viewing time and your efforts, and may it all be for more effectiveness in the end, because when we actually slow down, that's when we can really do things with quality and with purpose and with focus. It takes slowing down, not speeding up. So have a wonderful day, be gentle with yourself, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.